Welcome to Zimpax Gardens, where today we are hosting Hike and Climb 263 after they did their expeditions in Chimanimani and Matopos National Park. So we want to hear more from their experience through the hiking expeditions that they did. So join us. Welcome once again. So I'm joined by the team from Hike and Climb 263. I will allow them to introduce themselves. Over to you guys.
All right, thank you so much for hosting us. My name is Winky. I'm from Hike and Climb 263. I do the marketing. I do as well as the graphics designing.
Winky but not D. Okay.
Yeah, without the D.
And my name is Jamil Kasim. I'm from Hike and Climb 263. I do the social media management as well as the video editing and content creation for Hike and Climb 263.
Oh, lovely. You know, when you're now talking about hiking and climbing, I'm looking at you guys and I'm thinking, can these guys really hike? Are you the type that can hike? Are you sure? Can you convince me that you can hike, you guys?
Yeah, we surely can. It's more of a mental game than it is like a physical.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
As long as you can walk, you can hike.
Oh,
That's
lovely.
the motto.
That's the motto.
We move with.
Wow, interesting. That's a good one. Anyway, tell us a bit more about Hike and Climb 263.
Okay, so exploring Zimbabwe is a big thing because like not many people know Zimbabwe.
Okay.
But us as Hike and Climb 263, we explore all different parts of Zimbabwe through a way of what? Hiking. You get to see good views, you get to network, and you get to eat good food as well.
Wow, interesting. Okay. You have to recover the calories after burning them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely what you said. We are curating like packages that are cheap as well as good enough for people to explore Zimbabwe. Like we do day hikes, we do camps. Yeah, that's what we do.
Wow, interesting. Any interesting hikes that you've done in the past before we dive into the specific ones?
Yeah, most of them were interesting. We visited, I would be bragging if I say half of Zimbabwe, but
lovely.
We've covered a lot. We've gone to places like Mapuradona, with Rondera, just a mix of that.
Koromonzi as well, including Gwedza, including Gwedza is actually like pretty good spots, as well as in Mashikade. That's our next upcoming hike. And yeah, each place has a different story to tell. Different views, and they're all unique in terms of their cultural heritage as well as their views as a whole and how they appeal to people. So yeah, different.
Oh, lovely, interesting. So tell us more. You guys, I know you've been to the Parks Estate, you have done Chimanimani, you have done Matopo. Maybe you can give us more information about your hike in Chimanimani.
Okay, so in Chimanimani we did it last year in December. That was our first ever camp. It was a 3-day expedition. The first day we went there, and it's in the Chimanimani National Parks. The first day we just did some light work like rock climbing and sailing. And then on the second day it was a full-day expedition where we departed the campsite at about 5 a.m. and then we arrived back at 6 a.m. So in terms of distance, I think the group that did the shortest distance was about 29 kilometers, and the guys who did the whole distance did up to 34 kilometers. Yeah, so it was a full day adventure.
Wow.
Yes, and then the last day we were visiting some of the natural sites that are there, like the Pride Falls. There are so many places to explore in Chimanimani, falls and springs and all that.
Interesting perspectives about Chimanimani. Hiking, and the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. So tell us more. Kwausingatonhorere kumusoro kuplasi malagicha munenge makatakura batwa nechando unosvika kutonhora.
All right, thank you so much for asking that one. In terms of temperature, yeah, of course Chimanimani can be cold. We went in a season where muna December, but since hiking is a high intense activity, zvinozongonokavirana because ngofamba imomo, body inenge ichiita ichidziya zvichidaro. So I can't really complain. because when we are hiking, you expect your body to heat up.
Saka my diesel engine, petrol engine,
push. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you want to eat something.
And then from me, like what we explored in Chimanimani has barely anything. Like Chimanimani, like there's so much more to explore that we didn't, which is why we want to make it sound an annual. Okay. And then for the unexplored places we've been to, we haven't yet been to actually. And kubasa kwedu tina Coachland, vanonyatsoziva Chimanimani zvekutodaro vanopedza masports. Coachland.
From the behind the scenes.
From behind the
scenes. Fact sheet Chimanimani rawe. Hanzi mune ma facts essay Chimanimani. Satovura fact sheet Coachland. Take it out.
I wouldn't say Kutindine fact sheet Chimanimani is, but Chimanimani is very close to my heart.
Okay.
And me going back there, it was very emotional.
Okay.
Especially the first day at Takashika.
Yes.
There were tears and joy and laughter and everything.
Yes.
But it was an amazing experience, especially for our hikers from Harare. We had people that had never been to Chimanimani. People were going to Chimanimani. They were so excited.
Okay.
As previously stated by Jamil, that's why we are going back there. Starting next year is going to be an annual hike, annual camp starting from next year. Instead of 3 days, we're going to be doing 4 days, my 5-day expedition, because there is a lot that we can explore. Chimanimani, Paradise Pose. That place is amazing.
Wow.
It's beautiful. You cannot go there in a motor. You can only go there when you're hiking.
Okay.
So these are the natural places that we need to explore. So going back to the expedition that we had in December, it was a day expedition, Chimanimani. So we came to Chimanimani National Parks, and we did abseiling, we did rock climbing, we did gorge walk, Taka visited Chesas Pool, and the falls as well, beautiful place as well. So Pataka Kwira, the very first morning, and we had people that were hiking for the very. If you are coming to hike with us in Mutangiraku camp, it means we are very brave person. And if you know Chimanimani, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, because the terrain from Nyanga, going up Mount Nyangani, Chatombo driver, then we get to the base of the mountain, and then we start going up and we get to the 7th stage. Chimanimani, kuti usvike pagomo rauri kuda unokwira unotanga wakwira kuti usvike pagomo rauri kuenda. So in fact Chimanimani has got the second highest mountain in Zimbabwe, which is Mount Pesa. Right? It is second after Mount Nyangani. Mozambique, we share it with Mozambique. Mozambique, they call it Mount Binga. It's the highest mountain in Mozambique. Yes. So it's also Gomora Takakwira runs Mount Pesa, but you know what, a group of 48 people, obviously when we say Vakashika Kumsoro. Takaikwira, the first half of the van Takashika runs plane. On the planes it's just a plane. Munoza, what do you call it? Mapani. Exactly. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. We are just seeing a stretch of the plains. There's Bundi River, Uchidzika, Bundi Plains. There's Dig Bees Falls. You're going down to Paradise Pools. These are the places that we're talking about. But yes, it's no clear, but we have had it now. We're not going anymore.
Okay.
So the good thing about Chimanimani is that unomwa mvura from anywhere, from any streams. It's not a rare way, but you have to think twice. Even my balls, but when you're there, when you're out there in these islands, the water is
pure.
It's pure. And you know, Naka, but remember, that was to cause we talk about it.
Inyaya toda kutoinzwa ipo siparoze pakatika nyaya toda kutonzwa nyaya
iyi nyaya hombe. Emotions were high. But above all else, we managed to go back to camp in one piece. Takanonoka zvedu kusvika ndo patazofunga kuti you know what, Chimanimani, going there for 3 days, it's not enough. We have to go there for 4 or 5 days so that people really get to experience
Want to do
Chimanimani.
justice to the place.
Exactly.
My language.
Exactly. Mazvona manje. So patakasvika, everyone just had to go and eat and go to sleep in their tents. Yeah, remember, yes, when we are camping out there, we do tents. We don't do a nice accommodation. We don't do chalets and whatnot. We just use my tents. Papasina, not even one person wanted to go and sit by bonfire. We had marshmallows, we had planned stories, fake stories for the night. But no one had the energy to go sit by bonfire. Everyone just went straight to sleep. It was different from Matoposi. What we did in Matoposi after the 20-kilometer hike, 20 plus kilometer hike in Matoposi, it was something else.
Okay, interesting. Speaking of Matopos, maybe mukatombotipira kuti chichakamboitika kuMatopo, so that people understand the difference between Chimanimani Matopos, because it also becomes important kuti vanhu vazive kuti hike yekuChimanimani yokuMatopo, the different areas dzinotosiyana, so that vanhu vanoita chido chokuenda kuma different heights. So give us more information about Matopo. How was the experience in Matopo?
All right. Yeah, Matopos was great. And they call it the home of the balancing rocks.
Exactly.
Part of our team, we were saying that it was an experience, quite interesting fact that we had in Matopos. It was a 3-day expedition. We went there. We were camping at Maleme Dam. That area is very, very, very beautiful. I think my team can help me with that.
Interesting, Jamil.
Yeah, well, if you're talking about Matopos, right? I was one of the guides.
Yes.
What's Matopos in the Ndebele? He said Matobo. So translated into English, it means bald-headed. So now, if you look at the rocks in Matopos, right, they're more like bald-headed.
Like my body.
Perfect example. So yeah, that's what Matopos was about. So we arrived at approximately 2 p.m. And then we started off our hike at Pomongwe Mountain. So it was a 5-hour hike, but then along the way we saw good views, and then we went down to Pomongwe Cave, which was just like, that cave is like just out of the world. Like, it's really something.
Wow.
Something great, something amazing, something that not many people have seen, because when people go to Matopos, they mainly visit World's View and not get to visit all these other places within Matopos where, because if you're looking at in terms of radius, I'm not sure how many hectares it is, but it's like very big. And like when people go there, they go to World's View, they visit Rhodes Grave, etc. But they don't really get to see other places within Matopos. So we got to see Pomongwe Cave, and then after that, after the hike, we then went to World's View to see the sunset, which was like breathtaking. Like there's so much positive vibes. And positive vibes and sunsets, they just go hand in hand.
The sunset.
You remind me of Alan. Sunset. When he does my sunset Sundays, his creativity just comes out. You're like, right. The guy loves the sunset. Coach Lind, what do you think?
So, Matopos, personally, my personal experience, Matopos was like, we know you've been to Matopos, but have you really been to Matopos?
Have you really been?
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
if you've really
me.
been there.
I'll take you I'll be a tour guide.
So, no, this is a question for all the people that have been to Matopos. You've been to Matopos, but have you really been to Matopos? So, Matopos for me, it brought me closer to God, because you could just sit there and be in Awe and be like, God, everything is just in place. Every boulder, every tree, everything, nothing was misplaced. That was for me, that was my personal experience. Yeah. So yeah, I know it didn't have DP, but
Back to the offering.
but that was my experience. That was my experience with Matopos. So and then once we were done with our first date, again at Kanojga, and for your own information, to know Chef Wedu. Yes. So he catered for all our meals, and when we were camping, when we were doing my expeditions, for the main expedition, the main hike, we go near my pegged lunches, pegged food for everyone, which is sufficient for the whole day, nemvura and everything. So we prepared early, we slept early to prepare for the next day. Obviously, because the next day we started pretty early. I think around
5 a.m. we left.
Yeah.
And then 6 a.m. we started our hike.
And
Yes,
started our hike.
And
And
the chef,
oh, the chef.
memory mess erika
No, 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 no.
Chef
He
should be at the
stayed.
campsite.
Exactly.
vakamira kuwedzera macalories
Eh, kana
amabhera.
tadzoka.
Yeah, definitely.
Kana tadzoka. So for this group, we were, I think, about 45 all
Yes,
in all.
all in all.
Yeah.
Massive.
We're 45, and
Yeah.
the bus had to take us to our starting point because Taitangira, something like what, 10
Like,
k's from
It was
our camp.
It was 4 kilometers before Tokwana Dam
Yeah.
and 10 kilometers from our camp.
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
So it was quite an intense hike, which was quite worth it, really.
Wow.
Shout out to Mr. Sibanda, obviously, and his team.
Wow.
Aiwa takatichwa
Lovely.
sevanhu
Oh,
ma
mambo.
VIP.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, as Jamil highlighted, Matopos is very, very, very big.
Okay.
One of the tour guides, Mr. Ray,
Okay.
he taught me, he shared some information about how big it is. I don't know, Jamil wasn't there. He said something like the Matopos, like the national park,
Yes.
in terms of coverage, it's up to 400 square kilometers, which is very big.
Mm.
Of which people, when we go there, we only visit like the Rose Grave and
Sure.
the World's View.
Shrine,
But
yeah.
there is really a lot to cover in Matopos National Park.
And another fun fact that I was told about Matopos is that like it's got the highest density of leopards within Matopos.
Aunotanga kutya.
I know. Here's the thing about leopards. Leopards are very shy animals.
Okay.
Like you never ever see a leopard.
Mm.
So like it's quite difficult. And yeah, day 2 was our journey to Inanke Caves. It was about 20 kilometers long.
Over 20
Over,
kilometers. Yes.
Yeah.
In total, it was like 23, 24 kilometers long. So like along the way to Inanke Caves, we passed through Tokwana Dam. And then from Tokwana Dam, it was now an 8-kilometer hike to what?
Okay.
To Inanke
Yes.
Caves. And of
Wow.
which like the views along the way were
Ooh.
crazy. And of which like there's just something about the temperature that day. It was very
drizzling.
cold.
Yeah, it was
drizzling,
drizzling.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
good
yeah.
for hiking, right?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
very
perfect
lovely.
weather for
Lovely.
hiking.
And you guys, you spoke about Mani being an annual camp.
Mhm.
So, what's your plan with Matopos?
So Matopos, obviously we're going to go back to Matopos, definitely, but we cannot promise when because
Okay.
we have a lot of places that we still need to visit. We have Umfurudzi on the board, we have Chizarira on the board, we have a lot of places.
So interesting. You spoke about Chimanimani and you're not talking about all these other areas where you are planning to do hiking expeditions.
Mhm.
When you spoke about Chimanimani, you mentioned that you crossed into Mozambique.
Yes.
So as Zimparks, we've got Transfrontier Conservation Areas, what we call TFCAs,
Mhm.
that we are party to, and we've got 6 of these.
Mhm.
And one of them is Moza.
Mhm.
So when you crossed into Mozambique, you actually did what we call Transfrontier Conservation Area crossing.
We actually did that without knowing.
Ah, lovely.
You did what?
We did
All
it
right.
without knowing. Why are you doing that, Jamil?
So it's quite interesting because what we are also thinking is to have these hiking expeditions happening within the TFCAs. And I'm sure it will be interesting where you actually then get into cross-border hiking. We've got quite a number of areas, like one of the areas covers Zimbabwe, Zambia, Angola, Botswana, and Namibia. So tell us more. Would that interest you to really do this cross-border hiking expedition?
You see the smile.
Yes.
Yeah, we are very interested. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
And also the community that we have, that we have as Hike and Climb 260 community. There are people that really want to explore, they want to go out there and see what the world has to offer. As long as Trukufamba, as long as we're hiking, they want to be there. So definitely we would want to do those. We would definitely want to do those. And if we're going to be covering 3-4 countries, obviously we're going to be looking at maybe 7 days of hiking, 7 days with your backpack on.
In nature.
In nature, exactly.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. So for our listeners out there who would want to join you on these hiking expeditions, what advice would you give them?
Okay, so in terms of advice, we advise our participants to come to our hikes very prepared mentally, as well as physically, not too much, but mentally. Vanofanongi pasna,
Okay.
like pre the hike, like the day before the hike.
Okay.
Unofanongo sina ungodo.
So makes sense.
I know some guys who will not come because those two guys, I know them.
You see now, that, and also coming with hiking shoes or any proper shoes with grip.
Okay.
Because terrain, Pangpacho, you need the grip.
Saka no Crocs.
No
No
Crocs.
Crocs. Yeah, no Crocs. No
formal
jeans.
shoes.
Okay.
No formal shoes. No
Okay.
safety shoes.
Okay.
Basically that. I don't know if there's
And you
anything
definitely
else.
need sunscreen.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely need sunscreen.
Okay.
Sunscreen as well as snacks. And then for you to wear something that you're comfortable in, like for ladies, perhaps like
Are you talking of the snacks that we have in the packs?
No,
Or-
snacks.
Ah, okay.
SNACKS.
Ah, okay.
Snacks to share with others, because we also believe that when you are coming for our hikes, you are
Yes.
now part of the community.
Okay.
So you need to share, you need to help one another.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
the terrain can be very challenging and very tough, so you need help from other people. But ukangouya wobva wangozvisarudza wobva wangozviti,
Okay.
you know what I mean,
Yeah,
Anditka?
Exactly.
Unosiwa wakadaro, but isusu we encourage people to come so that we work together, so that we build new connections,
Okay.
we network, and we become one big community. Yes.
Yeah, taking you back to that issue of snacks and sharing, right? This is a lot more that says Kamaichi.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, because pane imwe yandakamboona episode yenyu pa social media where there was this couple vanga vari pa mountain top. The guy was proposing to the lady. Oh, interesting. That was interesting.
He was proposing with water and snacks, because when you are up there, those are the only things that you can think of. You cannot think of very valuable. You cannot think of money. You cannot think about your phone. You can only think about having water.
Wow,
Yes.
interesting. Wow, lovely. Interesting. As we are coming to the end of this episode, tell us more about the upcoming expeditions that you have lined up.
Right. So lined up on our calendar, what's following is the Chimanimani Boys Camp. We are revisiting Chimanimani National Park for our boys camp.
When is that?
It's gonna be in August, 26 to like 3 days.
Okay.
It's gonna be New Dimensions Adventures in partnership with I Can Climb 263.
Okay.
We're gonna be mentoring like 13-year-olds to 18-year-olds boys.
Okay.
And then after that, in December, we'll be going to on a 4-day expedition in Nyanga National Park, as well as we'll also be exploring Chizareda National Park.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
And then for those who would want to join you guys on these expeditions, how do they then contact you?
Okay, so in order to like join us, right? Firstly, we advertise on our social media platforms. If you're on Instagram, it will be hike.and.climb263. So our Instagram, that's where you get, as well as our calendar of hikes, camps, and all that. And then if they want to reach out to us, our contact details for WhatsApp, you can either WhatsApp 078-396-3399, or you can WhatsApp 078-575-4588. So I'm sure the details will be here in the bottom. And yeah.
Not only can you do hiking and climbing, you can also claim numbers.
And then the good thing about our community, you don't need to pay anything to join.
Okay.
Yeah, so joining is free. You just send us a message on WhatsApp or on Instagram or
TikTok,
any of our social
Facebook.
media pages, and we add you to our show. We add you to our social, to our WhatsApp social groups, and then from there you can choose the hikes that you want to go on.
Okay.
Then you can decide if you want to be a subscribed member. Also, we've got that as well. If you want to be a subscribed member, then you're going to pay $50, which is going to get you a lot of perks. Really, you get first aid training, discounts as well when you pay for your day hikes, for your camps as well.
Okay.
So and merchandise as well.
Oh,
So yeah.
Oh, lovely. Well, at this point in time, I have nothing else to say except to thank you guys, team from Hike and Climb 263, for coming through to share your experiences. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for hosting us.
There you have it. So we had the Hike and Climb 263 team sharing about their experiences within the Parks Estate when they did their hiking expeditions, and they also shared the future plans that they have in terms of the lineup that they have for the next hiking expeditions. We also hope to have you join us as we continue to hike in harmony with nature. For now, peace and out.